Bless up, bless down. 5 reasons why failure is important. Let's go. A lot of people learn that failure was not good, and they learned that while being in school. School taught people that failure is bad. Getting a B, not enough. C, terrible. A D, wow, terrible. An F, you're in a failure. You might have to repeat a class or something like that. F is failure. You got to take summer school. You got to take summer classes. You learn that while in school, that failure is bad. Then, of course, when you get those grades and you take them home, now you got more reinforcement at home saying, wow, this is just not good enough. Your teacher wants you to get 100%. Your teacher wants you to get an A. The school wants you to do this. Don't you want to be on the honor roll like the other kids? And when you start to be programmed that failure is not an option and failure is not good, what you do is you start chasing that A plus. You start chasing that 100%. And when you don't achieve it, you feel worse and worse and worse. Some people have anxiety when taking tests. Some people, they feel that, they're failures and they internalize that, and they're failures the rest of their life. And it all started as being a child at school that just didn't feel good enough because they weren't getting the grades that the school wanted them to get, the teacher wanted them to get, and anybody at home that's seen that report card. You've seen people go as far as this, manipulating their scores on their progress reports, on their report cards, and, just fabricating, having somebody print them out, all type of stories where people just did not want to show their parent what they got. They didn't want to show their grandparent, their grandma, their grandpa what they got. They're just too embarrassed the fact that they may have failed or just not gotten that A. So eventually what that does is that makes people afraid to make mistakes and to fail. And you carry that forever. That's how you live your life. I'm never again going to experiment. I'm not gonna take a risk, because if I fail, I'm letting everybody else down. Let me tell you something. There are 5 reasons why failure is important. 5 reasons why failure is important. Reason number 1 is that it builds resilience through mental and emotional stamina. When you fail or make a mistake, it's not over. You're still alive. You may have another opportunity to build from it. So you have to start programming yourself to understand that when there's a mistake that is made, you have to tell yourself that, guess what? I have another opportunity to do this. And it's just me against me. You got to cut out all the extra noise, because I know some of you feel like everybody's watching. All eyes are on you if you fail. You're probably that person in your family that everybody just keeps on looking at as, man, we need you to make it. We need you to make it. Or you're the one in the family that, you made so many mistakes in life that you still have pressure on you to do something about it, even as an adult. Understand that you need to build your resilience through mistakes and failure, mentally and emotionally. Get yourself under control when you don't win. Get your mind under control when you don't win. And when you fail, get your mind under control. You got to grab that mind and say, hey, look, this is where we're going. We're not going that path. We're not getting down. We're not going to feel the same way we felt back in elementary school, in middle school, or high school, and college. We're not feeling that way no more. Don't feel that way. Get rid of that feeling. Because that feeling right there, when you have that feeling, it gets so much into your body, gets into your DNA. You start to feel sick. You're feeling anxious. You're getting headaches. Your stomach's hurting. This is the result of programming and trauma from being told that you should not fail or make mistakes. You got to get away from that. 5 reasons why failure is important. You can improve and calibrate your skills. Improve and calibrate your skills. Look, when you failed or you've made a mistake, you have another opportunity to go back and just reevaluate and see where you had success at. Because I know everything wasn't a complete failure. You had success at something on that particular process and on that journey. Take a look at it, regroup, and calibrate and refine and calibrate your skills. That's all you're going to do. And give it another shot. Do it again. Take a break if you need to, or just get right back to it. Get right back to it and calibrate those skills, and you're going to find out sooner or later, over time, eventually you'll have success. Just got to stick with it. Another reason why failure and mistakes is okay, it's important, because now you have the opportunity to innovate. You have to understand, these microphones, the lamp, the artist that painted this back here, they didn't just pop up through one design, one experiment. They had to continually figure out what worked and what people liked, and what was something that people would purchase and buy and would gravitate to. That is innovation. That's through mistakes. That's through failure. There's nothing wrong with failure. It is innovation. It is how things are invented. Think about that. So it is okay to make a mistake. It is okay to fail. And you might even want to switch up that word. If you think failure is such a strong word for you, just call it, I made a mistake, and move on from there. It doesn't have to be the word failure. That's just a word that somebody invented. The word failure makes people feel like they have just done the worst. And that's not necessarily true. Failure also builds confidence. Again, we're talking about 5 reasons that failure is important. Failure builds character, and character builds perseverance. That means that you're not going to give up. You're going to persevere. Get through it. Failure doesn't mean that you stop. Even a kid that may have failed a class, he's still going back to class. And if he has to take summer school or do something else, that's called perseverance. He didn't just give up and drop out of school. The majority of people are not dropping out of school because they have an F in a class. They are going to continue whether they want to or not. Somebody's going to make them get through it. But you got to get inside you that it's going to build your character, and you're going to persevere when you think that you failed at something. If you failed at something at home, at work, on the job, at school, just keep going. Persevere, get through it, go back and reevaluate everything and figure out what's what and make it better for next time. Failure also normalizes risk-taking and experimentation. You want to get to the point to where you understand that life is short. And so to take a risk, there's nothing wrong with that. Take a risk, experiment. Most people that have taken risk and experimented, they find out like in the race of life, they're a lot further along because they've had so many failures and mistakes that they know how to get somewhere. People that are afraid, they're paralyzed. They don't move anywhere. They're in the same place and they're stagnant. They're not going too many places because they're afraid to fail. They're afraid to take risk. They're afraid to make mistakes. But I just gave you 5 reasons why failure is important. If you like what you're hearing so far, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, comment, share this video. We got to get this out to people because people out here that's paralyzed by their mistakes, paralyzed by failure, and it started in the school system, which went home and it became who they are. And now you see, oftentimes they don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything that is stepping outside of their comfort zone. There's a zone of comfort and they've been paralyzed. They're afraid to leave their job. They're afraid to leave their neighborhood. They're afraid to get a new car, to live in a better place, to get a better job. They're afraid to get a better person, a better girlfriend, better boyfriend. They're afraid. They're paralyzed. All because they want to be seen as being a failure to other people and to themselves. I'm going to challenge you. Get outside that thinking. You know who you are. Become who you are. Experiment to find out who you are. If you don't know who you are, take risks. Start out small. Eventually make them bigger. Because the person that gets into real estate, the person that's getting into investing, this is all a risk. But you admire what they have in their driveway. You admire those G-Wagons when you see them drive past. You admire how well they dress, how well they look, how well put together they look. You admire where they live at. You admire that community in which they live. They took a risk. And until you take a risk, you'll just be standing on the sidelines admiring people that are continuing to take more and more risks. And next thing you know, You know, they're so far gone that you might not even see them again to even know what they drive or what they're doing. Get back in the game, take a risk. I've given you 5 reasons why failure is important. Pay attention, get with it. Fly a kite, be free, keep winning.